What do you see are like the most common things that people are doing wrong that end up having a bad experience with a virtual assistant, whether it's through Start Virtual, whether they hire them on Upwork or Fiverr or wherever they're hiring them from? What is that?
So with any sort of like marketing system or outsourcing system, there's really three key pieces, right? You have the data component, you have the tools component, and then you have the people component, right? The people who I think struggle the most with virtual assistants, they pull a list, they get 30, 40, 50 leads, they don't convert anything. And hey, we got to rest this list now. We've recycled it 6 or 7 times. We need another list to plug in so we can continue to market. We don't want to red light, green light our business. So the people who struggle the most is they don't want to update their data. So they basically red light their entire business and they don't generate anything new, which leads to them not getting any new opportunities. They still can't convert the old ones. So then they end up quitting, right? I mean, that's just the data side. Then you look at the tool side. Hey, it's our job to make sure our VA is in a position to win. We're going to check on your tools for you at Start Virtual, but it's important that we're checking your phone numbers, right? And we could do that. If we're working with our clients, say, hey, we need to buy new phone numbers. You're okay with that? And we don't hear anything, or the client's like, no, we're not going to do it. Then the tool component is not going to work. So then when the tools isn't working, then your VA that's on that tool, they're not going to be able to do their best. They're not going to be able to generate leads, no opportunities, no deals. You end up quitting, right? Leads are the lifeblood of your business. That's why we're talking about it here. So the data and the tool side is very important. And then lastly is the people aspect. I meet with our VAs regularly. Some of you guys that work 9-to-5 jobs, maybe you can't do that. Maybe you can meet with them once a week or twice a week, but it's important that you do. And the clients that end up canceling or VAs not working out, regardless if you go to Upwork or another agency like Start Virtual, us or anyone else, if you're not meeting with your VAs, if they don't see you and they're not getting coached, if they're not getting developed and they're hearing feedback from you, normally it's not going to work. So even if that's just one time a week, you pull call recordings and we listen to them together. We do role play. We do all the things. So I'm going to do the best I can for that VA to win. And likewise, they're going to do the best they can back, right? So I think it's those three components. So the people who maybe struggle with outsourcing in general, not just cold calling or texting, they're not doing one of those three things, or they're not doing any of it. So I think that's important. Thanks for mentioning that, Cody.
So that was tools, making sure your tools are working properly and you're using the right tools. Then there was data, which is having enough records, having enough phone numbers to call.
And not having too much. We see a lot of people come in with 30,000 records they borrowed from their cousin's brother, who's also an investor from a different market. Hey, I'm marketing in North Carolina, but someone else has free records I can call in Florida, and there's 30,000. You don't want to call that stuff. You want to make sure you consistently market to the situation in your market. A lot of investors, as they're just getting started, you get the shiny object syndrome, like, oh, I just saw someone get a big check from a deal in Orlando. Let me go market in Orlando. You don't have the resources to outspend the biggest players in your market, so you might as well stay super niche and put yourself in a position to win. So data is super important too, and keeping it niche.
And the third component was the people. Treat your VA like team members, family. Be there for support. Let them ask questions to grow and encouragement. Their job is tough. Check in on them periodically. Don't ignore them. I can't stress that enough. I'm going to just throw in my feedback on that as well. Is if you don't plan on spending any time communicating with your virtual assistant, don't even, it's like, why even waste your time? It's just as if you have any team member, any human on your team, whether they're virtual in another country or whether physically in person with you, you have to spend time with them. If you don't spend any time with them, they don't know if they're doing good. They don't know if they're doing bad. They're just like, I'm just doing my thing. No one's giving me any feedback. Are they happy with what I'm doing? Are they not happy with what I'm doing? I don't know. So I'm just going to keep on doing it until they yell at me, I guess. And that's what most people do. They just wait until nothing happens and then they yell at them. It's ridiculous.
You got to treat it like any other relationship in your life.
Yep.